Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do an easy keto meaty queso. This is the bomb. We're going to use a pound of ground meat, a pound of ground breakfast sausage like sagey, a little taco seasoning, a can of chilies and tomatoes, basically Rotel, a 32-ounce block of Velveeta or knockoff Velveeta, and a 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Now this is a variation that Lisa just came up with that is a queso that we've been making for a while, and different people do make different variations of it. But she had sort of a happy accident over just before Christmas where she had they'd sent her the wrong amount of one kind of cheese, so she substituted another kind of cheese, and it ended up being the best ever. Okay.
I tell myself, no.
Now, I would like to tell you firsthand that this is being made in the Instant Pot, but it's not an Instant Pot recipe. We're actually not going to pressure cook it at all. This is really a slow cooker recipe, but you do have to brown your meat first. So instead of me taking you to the stove and then coming back and waiting a long time for the slow cooker to heat up and cook this queso, we're going to do a quick shortcut in the Instant Pot. Now, so those of you who don't know, Instant Pots, most of them I'm pretty sure, or pressure cookers have a saute button, which allows you to go ahead and use it just like a electric frying pan, that you could just do it right wherever you plan on doing your cooking. Now, if you have limitations, like physical limitations like I do, where you can't stand for a long time, then cooking at the table has become such a gift. I'm able to actually cook for my family healthy meals. I don't know that queso is healthy, but there are meals that I can make that are healthier. I can actually participate. They're less, junk ingredients most of the time. Obviously, this is a party treat we're having. But what this is a pound of ground turkey. Normally, Lisa always uses ground beef, but I had ground turkey on hand, and I figured wherever I can cut out fat of this dish, I will. But I wanted to up the protein and got this ground turkey on sale at Walmart, and it tastes delicious in here. Now, this is a pound of farmland sage breakfast sausage, like bulk sausage. It's pork, and it was a 2-pound tube that I had cut in half and used another half previously for a different dish. So I had this in the freezer, I defrosted it, and now we're going to add both meats to the bottom of the Instant Pot. Okay, I have this on saute, and as you heard my assistant say that it was done, that just means that the saute has come to hot. Okay, if you're new to Instant Pot and if you're afraid, I've had so many people reach out to me that they're afraid to use theirs. I will be 100% honest. I was as well. I watched a bunch of videos. I love the Six Sisters stuff here on YouTube. They have totally inspired me every Sunday. They usually come out with an Instant Pot recipe. They have dump and go recipes, stuff easy for working moms, for people with a lot of kids, for people, they have, different health needs. They do a variety of different dishes. So that watching them has really helped me become more comfortable, and then just using it, practice. Practice makes progress, right? So I don't have my macerator, which was really funny. I was actually talking about that with Emily. As you can see, Emily and Maverick are my assistants today. It was in the dishwasher and I forgot to get it out. So I'm just using this wooden spatula. I like this one because it's flat on the bottom. And there's a secret, well, not a secret. There's a tip you need to know with Instant Pot. If you have any fond on the bottom, which is the caramelized meat, you need to really scrape that before you put it into a pressure cook. So that's why I love this particular spatula, because it does a really good job scraping all of that fond off the bottom of the pot. Okay, so I'm just browning this, and it's really releasing a lot. The turkey does have a lot of they almost like put brine in the turkey, like to keep it moist, and the pork, of course, has a lot of fat. So we're going to cook that down, and we're going to render all that liquid off. And I'm going to show you a little tip, a little life hack, kitchen hack of how to do it on a easier than trying to get out your colander or your grease separator or any of those things. Okay, it's a tip I learned, a hack I learned on TikTok. Now, I hope if you're a regular around here, you love hearing all the noise in the background. If you're new to my channel and you don't like hearing the noise, I apologize. This is just how we roll here, okay? Most people just love to see life going on in the background. So Emily has cut up the 32-ounce block of Velveeta, and this Velveeta is from Aldi. Cream cheese I have here is from Walmart, and the tomatoes with chilies, with green chilies, is also from Aldi as well. Just to show you that you can really do this on a budget. I think the combined total of this entire batch of queso is just under $10. I feel like it's about $7 actually, because that 2-pound tube of pork sausage was actually relatively inexpensive considering. So was the turkey, was just like $1.89 for a pound. And then the queso is like $3.89 at Aldi, not the queso, excuse me, the Velveeta, and 79 cents for the cream cheese. I think the most expensive thing in this whole meal is probably the tortilla chips. So Emmy's going to have some with tortilla chips later. I'm going to have it with pork rinds. If you've never had pork rinds before, and you're like think they're going to be gross, try them with a dip first. I find them to be quite pleasant. They're like puffy and airy, almost like a cheese puff. Obviously, they don't have cheese on them, but like that puffy, cheese doodly kind of like feel. And then you can just use them to dip whatever you want in it. And they really are a good, vehicle for whatever dip you're trying to get in your mouth. They also give you that crunch and a little bit of salt. Okay? So now here's the tip that I'm going to show you. You actually take a wad of paper towels. You can fold it a bunch. I have about 4 of those half sheets of paper towels. And then I folded it and used a tongs. I've pushed my meat to one side, tilted the pan, and now I'm just dabbing up the juices. Now I will tell you, in full disclosure, there is a lot of juices in this. I probably would have ladled off some first. Normally when you brown your ground beef, there's not this much fat. This works really good to collect fat when you're frying up anything. You just push all your meat to one side, tilt the pan away from the meat, and dab up all the juices. If any of the meat runs back into the juices, that's fine. It usually won't cling to the paper towels, but even if it clings to the paper towels, you can knock them off and you still won't have any of that fat go back in. Okay, so I'm ending up having to do this 3 times with the amount of liquid that had come off of this meat that I'm using. Like I said, in hindsight, I would have gotten a ladle and a little can and just got like ladled out the big amounts of the liquid first. I know a lot of people drain theirs in a colander and have different special devices, but this one is just a really good tip, and it does get most of the fat out of what you're trying to cook. Okay, so I knew I had to share it with you guys. Now, like I mentioned, there's a lot of fat, but there's also a lot of liquid. This was actually like almost like broth. It almost looked like coming off of this. It was very, very liquidy, not very fatty, but I had to do this 3 times and then it worked fine. I did leave a little bit and it instantly like cooked off as soon as I put it back in, back on the heat. Okay. So then now that I have all my meat browned and good to go, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the can of Rotel. We're going to try to. Looks like Emily's trying to open up the can of Rotel. One other variation that Lisa added was she added taco seasoning mix. Now she uses a package of taco seasoning mix, mild, hot, however you like it and your family and your guests like it. But this is homemade taco mix. We have it on our channel. I'll try to remember to link the video in the description box down below so that you can make it as well. It's just a bunch of different spices that you may already have in your pantry. I just put it in a mason jar and we use it whenever we make tacos. Okay, so we're going to put 3 tablespoons in for this 2 pounds of meat and 32 ounces of Velveeta and 8 ounces of cream cheese. Okay, that's why we just need a little bit extra. When you get a package, it is 3 tablespoons full, so that's pretty much equivalent to a package. Okay, then we're going to add all of the Velveeta, and you know me, I say all the Velveeta, I mean all the Velveeta. I'm getting that rubber spatula out and I'm scraping that foil because I am just like that. And then we're going to add all of the cream cheese. Okay. Now you can do 2 cans of Rotel if you guys like extra tomatoes or extra chilies. You can use the hot Rotel. Again, this is from Aldi. It's a much more inexpensive brand, and I really do like it. It's just, I love everything from Aldi. It's just so good. Okay. And now this is where, if you were making it in the crock pot, you would go ahead, add all these ingredients, put it on high for about an hour or two, low for about 3 or 4 hours. Just because the heat of the meat will start melting the cheese already. But because I have this on saute, I'm just mixing this all together. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, but we were very impatient today. We really wanted to have this queso. It smelled delicious. It looked delicious. We were dying to have it. And I will tell you a really funny story. I had made pulled pork for dinner. Jim was at work. We had eaten pulled pork, and then we made queso to have for later on in the evening. And when he came home, I told him the pulled pork was there. I asked him if he wanted me to make him a sandwich because I toast buns for my family. And he's like, no. He's like, I'll just do it myself. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. So he came out with his sandwich, and I never heard the microwave go off. And I was like, are you going to eat your pulled pork cold? And he's like, no, I got it out of the Instant Pot. And I was like, oh, well, that's queso. So Jim had made a queso burger. And he said, other than the fact that it was really messy, it was really delicious. So, hey, if you try this queso and you want it on a bun, go for it. Jim said it gives it 2 thumbs up. Okay? So now, as you can see, I'm just really giving it a good stir. I'm using my rubber spatula to scrape up all the bits to make sure it's all incorporated. Now, my Instant Pot has a slow cooker function. So what I decided to do, just to have those flavors like amalgamate a little bit, to basically infuse themselves into all the particles, is I went ahead and I set my Instant Pot to slow cooker, and I just put it on for 20 minutes. An hour, 20 minutes, an hour. I think 20 minutes, because I don't think we were waiting an hour. And then it was ready to go. It is actually ready to go now, but it just will enhance the flavors. And I will tell you, this particular queso, I feel, is always better the second day. Whether I make it in the slow cooker or I make it in the Instant Pot, whether I make it over 4 hours or make it over 20 minutes, it is always best the next day. The flavors just mellow out and combine, and they're just amazing. And that's my opinion. I know it may seem weird to you to have like a breakfast sausage, sort of a pork breakfast sausage in queso dip with the turkey, but it is actually quite amazing. So I'm showing you here, I picked the slow cooker button. I lowered the temperature of the slow cooker button to what is basically the warming mode. I put it on less, which is like the warming mode, and I set it for 20 minutes just to let it go. I put the lid on, but I didn't, I wasn't sealing it because we weren't pressure cooking or anything. Just make sure you clean off all your stuff, because that's what I like to do. And I put the lid on just to let it go and let the like I said, the flavors all combine and come together. Okay. Now, I also like to serve this when I have it sometimes with some sliced avocado, or if I have some homemade guacamole next to it. Sometimes I put a little sour cream on it as well, and maybe a homemade pico de gallo or salsa, and it's that really good too. So then after a while, just stir it. You can see it's gorgeous. It's going to create like this little tiny film on top, so just blend it in and then serve. That's it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I love cooking with you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in learning how to make this queso. The big football game's coming up. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. And when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.